Back to dyslexia. Carol, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Philip.
Keyboards. It's all about computers, really, isn't it? And it could just completely revolutionise how we deal with dyslexia.
Well, isn't this what the modern life is all about now? Children, are so exposed to IT that certainly keyboarding skills are a huge element of, developing self-esteem in kids to be able to do things rather than that feeling of being unable to do things.
So that they don't get held back or sat upon in any other area of their development. You can't cure the dyslexia, but at least you can stop it inhibiting their learning.
It's a skill. And it's a life skill. And I've been teaching this now since 2009. It's a course called Touch, Type, Read and Spell. And it's certainly turned around, in my own family. My daughter actually learned to touch type at age 10 using this program. And while I was watching her, I was so enthused by what was going on. The tutor asked would I like to train to teach it, and I've been teaching it since 2009. And there's no doubt in my mind that the students have a skill for life, as I said, but more particularly that sense of self-esteem that they deserve to have. I mean, these children don't deserve to be this way. It's not something they would have looked for. But, that feeling that they have of not being able to do is completely turned around, and they have that feel that is just completely reversed.
And take me through the course, Carol. I mean, how long a course is it, and how long before the child is touch typing fluently?
Well, the course is broken down into 24 levels, and each level has a number of modules, and there are particularly 30 modules in every level. Most students probably would get through the course in a year. Now, that's a year based on school term time, because I teach this as an after-school activity during that time. Mm-hmm. So there would be nothing done during the summertime, or the months, or Christmas or Easter or whatever. So for a period of weeks, they would progress at their own pace. And that's the wonderful thing about this course, that the students don't feel they have to keep up with anyone else.
How long is each class then after school?
1 hour.
And what age are you teaching from?
From 8 years up to 17-year-olds who are currently perhaps hoping to sit their Leaving Cert next year.
So you're telling me if you're starting at 8, that by age 9, or by the start of the new school year when they're going into whatever 5th class, that they could be touch typing fluently?
Absolutely, and they're using that then in their class, presenting work in a legible way, being able to input what the knowledge that they have, they're actually able to put that down clearly, instead of this business of rubbing out and that feeling of, gosh, it looks so untidy on the page.
And explain something to me here that I don't understand about dyslexia as a disease, or as a condition rather, that how do you... because obviously you're using the touch typing to get around the handwriting difficulties, but how do you then teach the kids how to spell properly and help them with that part of the condition?
Well, I think dyslexia is possibly always going to be there, but the fact that there's such repetition in this course that it does reinforce the learning ability of the child. There are 4,000 words in the programme, and over all of the modules, all of these words are repeated time and time again. And, some students feel they're being brainwashed. One student said to me, I feel I'm being brainwashed here. And I said, well, does it work? If you are repeating something time and time again, it will eventually sink in. It's not going to change the situation of having dyslexia. I hate that word anyway, being dyslexic. It's a condition out there. It's not a label. But it certainly does help reinforcing it. Okay, so
just good old-fashioned rote learning and repetition, and you'll
repetition. But the feeling that they have of being able to touch type, it enables them to think and type. So they all of a sudden, instead of all of this writing and rewriting and pulling out pages and having rubbers and all that sort of thing, taking away from the fact that they spend so much time, drafting and redrafting. Sit down at a computer and being able to type.
But just as importantly,
clearly.
Carol, you're teaching them something which is now an absolutely essential skill. And I say this from first-hand experience, that I feel handicapped in the workplace with my rather cumbersome 2-finger and a thumb on each hand kind of typing, that I'm not touch typing properly. I should be able to type 80, 90 words a minute if I had concentrated on learning how to do this properly, but instead I'm at a rather slow 40 words a minute.
Well, I mean, I have students from 8 years old, and after halfway through the course, they get that, a little light switch goes on, and they get that feeling of, being able to talk to me. I can talk to them as I'm tutoring them, and they turn their head from the computer. They're hearing the words in the headpiece that they're using, and they're still typing, and they feel that that's really empowering them. It's almost like, watch me, what I can do, instead of this feeling of, I can't really do very much with all of this problem that I have.
Very good, Carol. What's the course called?
It's called Touch, Type, Read and Spell, and it's I would highly recommend it for children with learning difficulties, whether it's dyspraxia or dyslexia or any other area where they're actually just going to be able to present their work clearly and cleanly.
Okay. Thanks very much for your call, Carol. Take care.
You're very welcome. Goodbye.
Talk to Joe on 1850 715 815.